It's 85 seconds on the doomsday clock. So most people don't understand that. I'll repeat it. It is 85 seconds on the doomsday clock. What that means to me and you is question is what you going to do in that 85 seconds? You know? Why you going to do in that 85 seconds is make this commentary about this morning up on the radio. So I listen to 91.1 with Stefan and Jared. You know? But I hear Jared do a whole equation at the economics of it. He never interpreted the social cost. Which I which I find so humorous because whether it's in Rio or it's in where they call this place in Canada, the Mardi Gras, or wherever it is, it's the same vehicle. And this is the first government I see stand up and really question its presence in our representation of our representation as Trinidadians. And we get carried away with the abracadabra. I create as I speak. That's the meaning of the words. You wouldn't imagine that. Etymology is a conversation that definitely we need to embrace. But I would go down that road with them because I really and truly need for them and all the mathematics I hear him doing to add in the social cost. And madam, do what you want, but see how best you could wean the population of Trinidad and Tobago off of nicotine, off of cigarettes, not nicotine. You can allow nicotine to come in. But you see the cigarettes, you need to realize that they're enhancing it now with some kind of substance. But I looking for recognition because I have a conversation. I trying to ask Stefan to pass by Peggy's and see the garbage dispenser that she have. I know I have a prototype outside here, so the question about being able to manage, the responsibility of your garbage outside of that is a discipline. When I see a little fella open my pack of biscuit, take out the biscuit and fling it on the side. We look at all them zones. Yeah, all them zones have some big heap of the psychosocial construct we need to cultivate and develop for the people in terms of this whole bullshit about trying to sell the Trinidadian the whole global construct as to the security, why it is that you had to add electronics, because you salvage what you would call it community representation and family life. Because after COVID, one short thing the education actually condensed with after COVID is contempt. But you listen, who ain't done take off the move the scroll, whatever it is that do, right? Because if you look at it, the condensation of contempt that creates inside the households, in communities with a neighbor, with this and that, was always our objective, right? Based on the industrial education, and education for the industrial era. The question of humanity now against the whole construct what power looking like now in terms of information, and where we've seen where people who get qualified, and supported to the point where the job is to stand between the corporate world, the people have money, and the population. We've seen that happening in our Asian, much more populated country than ours, right? But the idea is to stand up, and like this fella doesn't realize that is really his job. I see him trying to make some little moves as if it could be recognized by everyone, but you need to take that particular mantle and recognize that the job description entails standing up between the powers of the world for the people. Some other countries say they're giving the 90%, they ain't giving that 10%. But what I asking for is that he pass by Peggy's and look at that dispenser, because I would hope that if we can represent some area, a start for the representation of Trinidad, our streets, you know what I mean? Well, you see the charge should, the barman should have a percentage of the charge. You know, something had to give. If you're spending 100 million on advertising, its benefits, short-lived as it may be, then you had to spend another 50% on the social ills it could create. Like the warning it had on the pack of the cigarettes, which what I think you need to wean the society off of wherever it is that's selling to the human. Because the economics and the construct, when we see the whole, just the whole vehicle is addiction. It's kind of hard to know then that we as Trinidadians is 1.4. We could do a little with a little benefit. We don't mind the lesser, percentages, but we can't be going down that road with them percentages that actually contributed most of all, you understand, as the gateway to any other thing. I telling you that. And especially in this whole idea of what criminality means. Ask Ian Allen, which was most of the activities that start, you know, and see if it is that we can accept the little input from a policy, from the policies. I would look at it from that position, because that is my view on the construct of that whole economics, psychosocio, I mean, power and money control. I ain't see nothing wrong with, but you can't give us the proofing that would contribute so delinquently to the structure, and not, advertise the social ills that could create. So, in saying so, I really want to show my bin, you know, because I think if my boy pass, and he would recognize how safe that is for our residents, because it's a front and back now. You're supposed to insert it into the wall. Well, 5 inches of it is inserted into the wall. And the dispenser is the person collecting it in the front. Right? And on the back, the resident don't even have to come outside. So yeah, well, they just a prototype. If I had some PVC board I make on concrete board, anything like that, you know? But I really and truly had to say that. So while everybody else had a song they're writing, I fly a flag for you and see here on this corner, you know. That's a big thing. I never do that before in my life. You know why I do that for? I was hoping then that industrial designers, small, we're talking about entrepreneurs who done however they, in the money. But the people who bring in the earth and the dirt and the plants and the bees and the trees, the kennels and the urban designs and constructs. Here what I telling you. Me see no room for that particular I see people have a lot of designs, so I can't say that. Right? But in all fairness, so let me put it like this: upcycle, recycle, reduce, use, repurpose, and repair, of which I am the Michael Jackson. Here what I telling you, flat. Right? There's an umbrella holder. I like it. I like it. It's real bad. I telling you that. So I looking for the recognition, only to see if it is that we could get the blue bins off the streets and the garbage bins, how well and expensive they are over a drain, right? If we could start somewhere to create a Trinidad a representation of even just one community, I love it to be Sour Laventille. But like I feel somebody else could just see, well, I hope Tobago take it. I hope they'll advertise it and hear this conversation, because with the 91.1, you see when coming to the conversation, adds the social cost. Don't just lambaste all the, rhetoric. I did not I could not afford the phone call, but as long as I could, I would. You know that kind of way? So here what telling us. Let me see if it is that we could represent a Trinidadian and a Trinidad, that we could start somewhere. Let me start in a community. Pass by Peggy's and see if you like what you see. See if it's something you could shout and make some noise, and see if you could implement after this whole fiasco, because it's how much, what the percentage of the population are really participating at, how much people are really getting money. So don't feel as everybody. Most people don't. Everybody don't believe in gold, but everybody believe in money, and some people have their money value different. Because I think it's not as good as we selling the how much in 2 days of pleasure or something, but we want to see that, represented from a Trinidadian in Trinidad, clean and sober. You know, I don't know think talk, but just let me see if it is that we could do something that at the end of the day, right? You see all them transactions where a lot of corruption and things that's happening. A simple solutions for that, right? And it's that confrontation and that conversation that the lady, I hope you're creating, right? And not just use it basically because contempt. We're running on contempt. It's time we start to recognize, accept that, and see how condensed that whole episode of the pandemic and that COVID exercise did to our and the global population. So let me see if we could take real little population and represent a recovery from the matrix that recognizable based on all the created circumstances for being 85 seconds away on the doomsday clock. to the galactic concerns that is upcoming, and without